All right. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to the program. I have a new way of introducing myself.
Okay.
I'm Achim Saga. I am a mother of four Igbo children. Okay. Two girls and two boys.
Yep.
You know, and a wonderful Igbo husband.
Mm.
I'm so excited. And I am from the great Igbo nation. And I'm in economic exile in Houston, Texas.
Wow. Well wrapped up.
Oh yeah, that's who I am because I'm getting so excited. I did my DNA and I have these Igbo cousins here in America. They get so excited when they meet me. You're like, this is what our ancestors look like. This is what it's all about. So I'm like,
Yes.
I'm just gonna claim it. So
Yes.
I am Womona Chim Saga and I am from the great Igbo nation on economic exile in Houston, Texas. And I will be raising four great, smart Igbo children.
Yep.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, our viewers. Thank you, those that have seen this video for the first time. We are here for you so that we can talk together, reason together, because this is moments of critical thinking. Gone are the days where they will just tell you just swallow it and waka. No, we know they do that one anymore. When they tell you, you go say, hey, make I sit down and think am. Make we analyze and well, make we understand and make it make sense to us. If it don't
Mhm.
make sense, no matter who is telling you, say, carry the go. It don't make sense. Where did they talk? No make sense. Before I start speaking pidgin English. My name is Ekwi and I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Please continue to help us to share, like, subscribe, follow us so that once we drop videos, you will pick them. They will come to you and you will be the first to get what is going on because a lot of information will be coming up as we go. So you need to be on top of what is going on. Then share to your people. We don't want anyone to fall casualty because if you know what is going on, you will know how to stay clear of trouble. Do you understand?
Hmm.
What we are doing, we don't need to get into trouble with it. We are not dragging with anybody. We are just in our land, doing our own thing. That's who we are, peaceful people. So please continue to share. We're going to pull up the first video. It's talking about the willing tools. We told you people the willing tools are those that are upholding, swearing and upholding the 1999 Constitution and their supporters, whether they are singing for them or sharing the money with them, whatever they are doing with them, they are family members. These are the accounts of our land.
Hmm.
So they are the willing tools holding us from leaving this slave camp. So they are not your friends, that they are not for you. You need to identify them, criminalize them, and isolate them, like our ancestors did in those days. If you are not good for the community, especially Igbo land, the great Igbo nation, if you're not good, you're sabotaging the community, you're stealing, you're a criminal, you're doing all those stuff, they don't even need to do anything to you. They just identify you, isolate you. They just say, okay, this person did like this, that. So they isolate you, give you matches. That matches they're giving you is because in those days we take light from one, flame to cook. We take from one family to the other. If you want to make fire and you see smoke in your neighbor's house, you know your neighbor is cooking. That means he or she has already made fire. You will go there and take some. You don't need to start struggling to make fire again. All these
Hmm.
reinventing wheels that people are doing, they did not come from our culture. So your neighbor has made fire already. You don't need to start going through the process of making fire. You go there and take some and make your fire and cook. So it will be faster for you. So when we excommunicate those criminals in our land, we give them matches. That's things to say, don't go to your neighbor to take fire. Stay your own. See you, take fire, go, stay. Some will go to evil forest and all that. So in the course of today's presentation, we will break down to you who they are. We even call names because last week our people told us that we should mention their names. We should call their names. So we'll just give you a few examples, tell you how they are, that you will not be identifying the rest of them. So watch this video first. This didn't come from us, YouTube, Facebook. This video, we didn't make it. We are just using it to teach our people. So watch it. The people that this man is talking about are the part of the people that you need to identify, criminalize, and isolate. Mapuha. Because they are not for you. Thank you.
Create a conscience where there is none, and to cause conscience to disappear where it does exist. As our pastors are the one now destroying Christianity. It is not in doubt that religion is the opium of the masses, and a lot of false prophets have taken advantage of this to deceiving unsuspecting followers for their own benefit. In Nigeria today, Dito Africa, magicians have taken over the house of God, and they parade themselves as prophet of God, while in actual sense, these people are all prophets of Baal. To them, Christianity starts and ends with giving, as they steal in the name of the Lord. The bigger your problem, the bigger you are told to donate. Challenge God and see if he will not offload his blessings upon you, they say. Yet, you never even feel challenge common government when they steal your money every day, but they tell you to challenge God. You believe them, you believe you can believe anything. Why is it upon a scam? Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep clothing, but inwardly and ravaging wolf. That's what the Bible says. What God cannot do does not exist. And a lie. There are billions of things God cannot do. God gave you a brain, he cannot do the thinking for you. For most of them, religion is nothing more than a substitute for malfunctioning brain. So that's why they remove your ability to do critical thinking and create fear around you, then say miracle to you. That fear, the key that unlocks the pocket of the rich and the poor and gullible. They tell you, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, but the Lord is with me. Yet they drive around with bulletproof cars and number of mobile police, enough to form a battalion, as they frighten you not to give to the poor woman in the village who they claim is a witch, that will take your gift to coven and tie your destiny. So rather bring it to the church so that the pastor will lay hand on it and before he gives it away. All on a job. That's 419 mentality. They would raise sword against anyone that preaches against tithe and offering, or first fruit, or taxes that they collect, even if that person is a true Christian or one of them. That's why everything to them starts and ends with donation. Let 20 people come out to give 1 million naira. After that 1 million, they go still reach 100 naira and 5 naira, stealing from both the rich and the poor. The church and pastors want money, they turn to members. But members want money, they are told to turn to God. Why is your brethren? God is not after your money, but your salvation. For these pastors have fleeced more people of their hard-earned money and made more people poor and depressed than they have actually saved people. They are quick to shout Malachi 3:10, but we never point you to Deuteronomy 14:22-29, where the law of tithing was actually established and you were instructed to eat your tithe. That is why they celebrate the fraudulent, the corrupt, the wealthy than the meek and the righteous. They claim to be modern day Levi, but they forget that Levi is a tribe in Israel, and yet are not a calling. So show me a Levi and I will give you my tithe. So why they not call you into Tinubu or Bigate or Elon Musk family? Only thief masquerading as chief. Instead of a place of worship, they have turned the church into a gathering where the best of cars, clothing, and materialistic things are showcased. Comic relief are entertained because of the hollowness and lack of godliness in these places. My God is not a poor God. No wonder more people are not questioning the existence of God. As they say, if his so-called messengers can be this carnal without repercussion, what then is the need? Some of the pastors claim to even drink tea with God and stop natural weather in foreign countries for months. Yet they no fee even stop the scorching sun that is burning people here even when light no day. Some claim to raise more people from the dead. Yet bad roads and non-availability of infrastructure is killing their church members daily. And they never feel even raise them. Abi church members, they forbid to raise from the dead. Others claim to hold the key to the kingdom. But what their followers do not know is that the key to the vault, when they won't give madam and girlfriends, now they hold, not the key to the kingdom. Some even say they stop a bullet with their hand and drove cars from Lagos to Abuja without fuel. They collect money from you to build schools, yet you can't afford to send your children there because of exorbitant fee. They promise you, they ask you to invest in the heaven, but are quickly collecting their return on investment here on earth. They tell you all sorts of lies in the name of God. And rather than lead people to God, they're actually chasing people away from God Why the few credible ones in church are silent because of mob criticism. Even motivational speakers today call themselves pastors too, as more people are calling God instead of God calling them. And why they criticize politicians in the afternoon, they go to collect tithe and offering from these same politicians in the night. And why you continue to carry your own cross. I will therefore advocate until we begin to judge this so-called God of men, masquerading as men of God, so that we also will be judged. We will continue to have charlatans occupy the pulpit until they completely eradicate the gospel and replace it with their own thoughts. True religious leaders must urgently rise up and speak up if they must salvage the already bad situation. To return to higher standard of living, the church can, PFN and all other associations must abandon the so-called prophet and seek new leaders of their own choosing. The government on its own owes it a duty to the society to create sanity and must establish laws to limit the proliferation of religious centers, all in the name of winning souls, while they are actually destroying souls. If you like, insult me from now to today. It will not stop me from calling out your pastors. So, well, let me listen to your insults on our comment section in all our social medias.
Well done, brother. Well done for delivering that punch.
Go on.
It was a knockout punch. Yeah, for the criminals, right?
Yep.
Yeah, when they want to arrest their enemies, they will send the Nigerian police and then
Yes.
fly out of the country.
Mm.
Yes, then they will tell you, use Holy Ghost fire to arrest your own enemy.
Mm. Mm.
419 of the biggest proportion.
Yeah, yes.
These
Mm.
people, whew, God help them. God help them and their brainwashing. And this thing is not unique to us. They use it everywhere.
Yes.
If you go to South America, you see people, and all they be eating is just Maggi. Maggi. They use Maggi everywhere. That's another thing. Everywhere that they colonize and the brand, they put Maggi there. I was so surprised to see them using Maggi to cook. They call it no.
Yeah, there must be something.
And this guy was Holy Ghost fire. This meanwhile his farm is falling all over him. Nobody is helping him. But he's waiting for Holy Ghost fire. The German journalist was looking at him like this.
I'm telling you.
Why he's mocking his own God, because you're a criminal thinking that God will come in that mess.
Yes.
You know, they don't know that God will never bless any mess,
Never.
no matter how much you paint it. If you like embellish it, put big English in it, take it to Ivy League school and come out, God will bless no mess.
No.
Get that through your head.
God will not do for man what he has sent man to go and do. He doesn't behave that way.
Sad to say the least. Okay, I'm pulling up the next video. Please continue to help us to share while we listen up.
This next video will tell you about another set of willing tools, the traditional leaders that are the warrant chiefs of old. You know, when you hear warrant chiefs, those of us that were in South, I don't know if they had those warrant chiefs in other regions or is it only in our own region. So the warrant chiefs are the bad eggs in the society that the colonial monsters come, pick them, and make them leaders, so-called leaders over the people. So when you're looking, you say, it's not your leader. No, they're not your leaders. They're not even the people that you will call leaders. They are stooges of the colonial monsters in your land. So they infiltrate the church, the community, and everywhere, pick criminals among you, elevate them, make them become professors, whatever that they want them to be, because they will give a double standard. What you cannot get, they can get because they are being aided, so that they will take that position over you and help them to suppress you while they do what they're doing. So please continue to help us share, like, and subscribe. My sister is playing this from Clubhouse.
The issue on the 26th of December, the Boxing Day of 1913, that the Nigeria that was in three compartments of the time, the Northern Protectorate, the Southern Protectorate, and the Colony of Lagos. The Colony of Lagos was by itself, was a British territory that, operated under, a separate set of laws comparable to what they had in England. In the other places, with different degrees of modifications. In the North, they allowed the emirs and their system, which they now describe as indirect rule. And in the south, because of the resistance they got from all the places in the south, they imposed what you could call military rule, which was the direct. They sent district officers, and their enforcers were the ones in government house.
They're enforcers.
And the renegades, the local willing tools, they manage this traditional in the east. All these people you see, Royal Highness left and right all across the east, they were warrant chiefs. These are the worst of society that the British decided to coronate as spies and people who are going to be their own agents, like they did with the police constabulary they set up. That's the people who are going to carry guns were the people the community had rejected. So that anger they had to put their loyalty on the side of the British that had come to make them. So both the law enforcement and the traditional ruler, the traditional rulers, the coronet. These were all the mechanisms. They retained what they wanted to retain in one part. They destroyed completely. They destroyed the local, the governance structures, the traditional governance structures in the East were completely decimated and replaced by bogus. So I can tell you, in many of the places, most of our people don't know who is part of all this Royal Highness liaison is in the media. It doesn't exist in our midst. It was the British that imposed them on us as people who will take a portion of what those in government house get to spy on their people. That's what they do. That's why they allotted 5% of the local government, whatever the local government gets in allocation. These people you call your traditional rulers, they share 5% of it. So that 5%, if you're a retired school principal, for instance, maybe your pension will still be floating below 100,000 naira. If the local government gets allocation of 100 or 200 million, the average they get every month, you can imagine 5% of it to whoever is paramount ruler in the area. There could be two of them. At times, there could be three local governments that fall under one paramount ruler. But there could also be one local government that has more than one. But when you take 5%, of 200 million, 10% of it is 20 million. 5% of it is 10 million. That's the kind of assured remuneration that comes to those people who parade themselves as your traditional rulers. And the government, in return, relies on them to spy on you. They are never, that's why you won't see any of them. Not that we didn't go to look for them. We went to look for them all over the place. Wow. They are not on our side.
They are not.
We are breaking down the mechanisms so that you can know the forces, the politicians that swear to defend and uphold this constitution. Those ones you can see from afar. But the ones who present themselves as your own, you now think indigenous people, you can see that in the Yoruba space, in the Igbo space, you can't find any meaningful traditional ruler who is on the side of the people for good. Look at where they are when the matters turn up in terms of between what Nigeria wants and what their people want. It's always what Nigeria wants that they stand with. Yep. I'm giving you the background to it. The British that came took their time to destroy what they could destroy, retained what they wanted to retain. The indirect rule they did in the north was that the caliphate, the emirate system, in which the Sultan now is the head, they allow them to keep, because they already subjugated the people in a feudal setting. England itself, the UK itself, the British crown is a feudalist setting. But for that reason, they didn't have to disrupt something that has locked the people down. Rather, they empowered the emirs some more, gave them more guns to beat down the people. so that between them and the emirs, when the door is closed, the white man
It's in
is
charge.
in charge.
Mhm.
When the people are not looking, once that door is closed, the emir is taking instruction. If you go back to the pyramid of evil, you will see that we indicated that in that hierarchy, the British and their government are the top, the caliphate next, that nobody speaks up, nobody argues with the one up. So the caliphate does not argue with England. They take whatever London says. Then between the two of them, London will dictate what will go into constitution, because London is concealing itself from the people who are suffering. In that hierarchy, the constitution sitting below the caliphate. That's why they're operating above your constitution.
Yep.
The constitution is in place to put you down. They are not bound by it. They are not bound by that constitution. You saw the Supreme Court, you saw the Court of Appeal, you saw Jega, not Mahmoud, the one that coronated Tinubu in the last election. They are not bound by your constitution. Otherwise, I could raise 20 questions even in this meeting of where was the constitution when ABC so happened? Where was the constitution that says everybody has to be treated equally, that there will be welfare and security, that there will be all kinds of good things for the citizen? The same them overruled what they wrote into the document with another small clause that they didn't advertise. And you see lawyers who jump all over the place trying to pretend that there's something that is the entitlement of the citizen. On that. Nobody is citizens. Slaves are not citizens. Under this constitution, that your sovereignty is taken, all your economic assets taken, and the exclusive lists that make it impossible for you to even partake in any way. With something, a blanket immunity that goes from section 6D, the one that says everything they did from the 15th of January in 1966 to the 29th of May in 1999. That's 33 whole years. During which period all the decrees that became constitution in 1979 were instituted. All the things they did to rot this evil were done in those 33 years. The oil and gas assets of the Niger Delta, it was in that period that they took those things and awarded to themselves as oil blocks. It was in that period that they created all these states. It was in that period they had to kill this number of people that we're still discussing today. The ones who killed the Ironsi, the ones who killed the 3.5 million people in the East, the ones that starved 2 million plus children to death. By this same thing, they are reminding us, like the synopsis told us. If anybody will remember the story in the Bible about the siege on Samaria by Syria, these people that are on a conquest mission, they are weakening us from several fronts.
All right. So I just posted the link for this audio. I'm telling you guys, if you want to understand the history of where you have to listen to this audio. It is life-changing. If this audio doesn't make you mad enough to want to change, just check yourself into a psych unit. That means you're gone. There's nothing we can do for you. This audio is loaded with information. Like, it kind of like gives you the step-by-step reasons why we are where we are today, and who is the player in our damnation. So please, the link is posted. I will repost it again. I don't know. Let me just post it by itself so it doesn't have any words with it. Hopefully, if you click that link, it will take you to the rest of the audio. If you want to save time, maybe start from 18 minutes and then listen to the whole thing in its entirety. I'm telling you, if you are looking for a sermon, today is Saturday, tomorrow is Easter Sunday. This is the sermon for tomorrow. If you're looking for freedom, if you're looking for life, if you want to improve things around you, this should be your gospel for tomorrow. Go ahead, sister.
Yeah, that's if you want liberation. If that liberation that Christ died for and promised you and said, I became poor that you might be rich. If you're looking for that, that's the video. Do not take your brain where they will use a high soap to wash it clean. Remove the little thing that was remaining. Better don't go there. Sit down and listen to this. It will give you life. To give you begin your brain.
Bring your children around it. Turn on the audio and listen to it. Yes. I'm telling you, my goodness. All right. Of course, how exactly do we go into transitioning now? So once you listen to the audio, you understand why we need to go into transitioning now, like why it has to happen yesterday. So we are going in the interest of that last video that we watched. If you listen to it to its entirety, you can understand why we are here, because all you will be talking about afterwards will be transition now. And no government, you don't need any government approval to transition. You don't need their permission to do what you need to do. And we are going to give you those steps so that you can stop waiting on the God and stop bothering God. He's not going to come down. He didn't come down for 500 years when they were coming to take your brothers and sisters in sheep called Jesus, throwing half of them in the bush, throwing half of them in the water, killing them when they got here. He didn't come. He was busy eating his coconuts. Because when you're eating things that make noise, they also mess with your brain. So God is eating coconut. He's not listening. His ears are plugged.
Somebody is saying, Ogene Atuba is saying, what is the solution for us to be free after they have hijacked our country from us? So you pay attention to the show so that you understand. Pay attention. Always pay attention. If you have been paying
attention, understand what the issue. So you can ask, subsequent question based on what you've heard, not just
exactly. Don't just open your mouth and just say, "Oh, I want to ask question." Pay attention. I know some of the Maggi people used to cook and all these chemicals, it damaged our people's brain. Their attention, they can't pay attention. They hear, but they can't pay attention, because the essence of paying attention is so that things will make sense to you. Some of the questions that you even ask, you get the answer by yourself, and you know that, okay, so this is the problem, and this is how we will solve it, and then let me be part of it. So please, Ogene, pay attention to today's show and other shows that we've been, because this is what we do every day, every Saturday when we come. We'll tell you what the problem is and give you the solution and tell you your part in that solution, because nobody will do it for you. You're not hang somewhere, one God will come and do it, or maybe somebody will come and do it. No, you are an indigenous person on your ancestral land. The right to self-determination is yours, but there is a process to exercise that right. This is why we come here every Saturday, to get you educated and enlightened, so that you enlighten other people. Thank you, my sister.
Welcome to the show again.
To what we placed before the country since December of 2020, the 5-point proposition that would define that transition. How exactly do we get to it? How exactly do we manage it to arrive at the objective, at the goal of reworking what is wrong with union? I'll take it straight from how we first put it. We said, number one, a formal announcement acknowledging the constitutional grievances and sovereignty dispute now declared by the people of the south and middle belt of Nigeria. Acknowledgement of constitutional grievances that have now become a dispute formally declared. Number two, a formal commitment to the wholesale decommissioning and jettisoning of the 1999 Constitution as the basis of the Federation of Nigeria, as was done by the government of apartheid era South Africa in 1990, to commence the process by which the apartheid constitution of the then South Africa was eased out. Simply put, a commitment to decommission the 1999 Constitution, unitary Constitution. Number 3, a formal announcement suspending further general elections under the disputed 1999 Constitution, since winners of such elections will swear to and govern by that Constitution. That's self-explanatory. To put a time frame for when these things that have been outstanding since 1967 will be done. Because that was what we went to discuss in Aburi. How do we relate in our union? Or has the union collapsed? Therefore, summary of number 3, a formal announcement suspending further national elections so that we can go and do the business of reworking the business of our union. Number 4, and that's where we've arrived now, because everybody can see that the Constitution is gone. Everybody acknowledges, everybody now agrees with us that that Constitution has to be thrown into the dustbin. And everybody, those who were thinking that they should get to election first before we go to that discussion, election has come and gone. So can we now proceed with the business? So number 4 is, that is the content. What is this transitioning that Ninas is talking about? And how will it be initiated? We said a formal initiation of a time-bound transitioning process to midwife the emergence of fresh constitutional protocols by a 2-stage process in which constituent regional blocks will, at the first stage, distill and ratify their various constitutions by referendums and plebiscites, and in the second stage, negotiate the terms of federating afresh as may be dictated by the outcomes of the referendums and plebiscites. A time-bound transitioning. That is, we have agreed that the election is not the way to go. We are now saying we will, in this period, we can say it is 3 months, because all the work has been done since NADECO became PRONACO, and all of what we did to become MNN and NINAS, and going to court in 2007, going to the international arena, getting the UN instrument, and all of what the work has been done. The draft constitutions are in place. The charters of relationships in the ethnic regional blocks, where, for instance, in the lower Niger, you have the George Urobo, the Anang, the Efik, the Igbo, the Shekiri, everybody on his father's plot, holding on to their sovereignty and their, father's plot, to discuss with their neighbors and document how they can relate, how they can federate. If the rest of Nigeria, if we agree to continue in any form of union, like Germany and France and Portugal doing European Union, those will be our own dictation, as agreed amongst us. It's not anybody else's business. And so it is in saying that time-bound transitioning process, is what has to be, introduced. It's what has to be initiated now in place of the election that has gone bad. We're no longer talking about suspending. We're no longer talking about, let's not go to election. We have gone to the election has collapsed. And we can see that it is because of the constitution that the election collapsed. And so the business to be done now, no other business will be tolerated. No other business will be tolerated, including patching up things to see whether we can get a better election. For what purpose? Under what constitution? To govern who? Which space? Number 5, a formal invitation to the people of South and Middle Belt of Nigeria to work out and then place a transitional authority which shall specify the modalities for transitioning process, including composition and mandate of the transitional authority, as well as the time frame for transitioning and other ancillary matters. In bracket, we had said, having concluded consultations with key segments of society, these propositions now constitute the 5-point agenda of the Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, NINAS, and will be pursued most vigorously until realized This was in December 2021. We were telling everybody that it has come to where we've concluded all the waiting and consultation with other people. The nationalities are now to go and do the business by themselves, whether government comes or not. Is well, if let nobody think that what Ninas is saying must wait for when government repents and comes. The nationalities own their sovereignty inalienable. They own their right to self-determination inalienable. The fact that they have worked out all the processes among themselves, and those who are pretending to be government in Abuja and the state capitals are refusing to come to deal with it, in confiscation of our sovereignty. That's what they are doing. They are defying us. They are defying all of us. Those of them in government house, pretending they are now the owners and custodians of our sovereignty. The National Assembly, inclusive, they are all defying the sovereign constituent components of Nigeria, the people whose sovereignties have been consolidated into the Nigeria that is now disputed. Those who were elected to, who were sent to deputize, to represent them, are now, confiscating their sovereignty and staying in the distant land to say we now own all of you. That's what everybody in Abuja is doing to the people they claim to represent, whether they are president.
Whoa. Yep. So we can no longer afford to be ignorant as to what's going on.
No.
So for those of you that are still confused about what we're doing, you will tell us to break it down and don't mention your name, no worries. We have enough information for anyone that really wants to understand, because you guys have time to watch all the shenanigans going on online, people shaking their noses, their eyes, their ears, the Hollywood people, they have 1 million followers. If you want life and want life abundantly, you have to spend half of the time, let me not say an equal amount of time, half of the time to go and listen to something that will give you life and give you life abundantly. There is no reason why you are on economic exile when your nation has the same oil that Dubai has, Qatar has, they have the same gas. Why are you on economic exile when they are living as princes and princesses? And we're here arguing. So let's move forward with our topic of the day. Please continue to help us to share, hit the like button. You know they don't want us to get this information to our people. There's always a distraction. I was doing something on YouTube. I usually watch things about how they did what they did, right?
Yeah.
And the video, they brought a video of a random person and said recommended to me. And this is somebody that I've never watched before that has nothing to do with the things that I'm interested in. I said, this is how they do it. This is how they dumb down our people and recommend videos that will steer you away from things that you're interested in. So be alert, be vigilant. Our topic today is Made in Nigeria. Igbo leaders, or made in Nigeria Igbo leaders are holding the people hostage. The Made in Nigeria Igbo leaders are holding the people hostage. Why? Because they're benefiting from it. Their children are doing well. Their lives are better. Even when they tell us they are Eze, whatever traditional rulers, most of they live in Abuja while they are traditional ruling you in your village. Given the fact that after more than 50 years of disputation since 1967, including a 30-month genocidal war against the East, the constitutional arrangement of Nigeria has remained unresolved. These constitutional grievances and disputations have led to the collapse of Nigerian Federation. This is according to Igbo Leadership Conclave in August 12 of 2018. A federation is a union of constitutions. A federation is a union of constitutions. It therefore means that the first step for any thinking person to take in trying to build a federation is to identify the constituent components units and members of the proposed union, get them to produce their individual constitutions or charters in readiness to federate, and that's if they desire. The attempt to handpick random stooges, random people that are being paid, they speak very fluent English because the slave masters, schooled them. The attempt to have them represent whatever criminal entities that emanate from our sick brain or from some sick brain is the height of insult to the intelligence of our people. So we are referring to people like the Anyumpu guy. What's his name? Anyumpu.
Anyoku, Anyukwu na Anyoku, without the same.
Right.
Emeka
So
Anyoku.
he's one of the criminal or one of the criminals. Looking at the current event, we are happy to announce there is now a national consensus around the first 3 points of the NINA's 5-point proposition, and we will be pointing that out to you. So we must find the courage to proceed to the consequential last 2 points. Those are the ones that they want to skip. So they are looking at, okay, let's take the other two. They like to do happy and way, and let's jump fence and jump to the other side for their own benefits. So today we will discuss how to bypass the willing tools because they are everywhere. They are everywhere in our ancestral spaces and find ways to move forward into an orderly transition process, including a mechanism that will help maintain nominal governance. They will never escape this route. Aijia. Those roadblocks that Nigeria will put everywhere you go, you make a move, you stop. We have roadblocks everywhere. They cannot escape. There's no escaping unless if they're going to run into the bush. Even at that, we have roadblocks into the bush. Our people are getting it. That is us that will make the constitution, not the criminals that benefiting from the system. We are getting it. Those people that we thought, Onwa Batago, Onwa is coming, Onwa Batahala at Christmas, all will be well. Those Onwa, we've already identified you. We have isolated you, we are going to. And then we know you are the criminal that is used to hold our people down. You were never for us. If you're for us, you would have done something meaningful by now. Our sister cannot be arrested over tomato review. And you guys are sitting there thinking you have a country. Sitting there, rich men and women, the middle class, and they hold one under arrest over review when criminals are everywhere.
Can you imagine?
Sad to say the least. Let's pull up our points for the day. Please continue to help us to share. Like I said, they are at it again, but no worries. Work is going on. Oh, shout out to our food soldiers doing the work.
Yes.
Taking the risks. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. This is what it takes. You have to do the work. And this is why mothers are always too connected to their children, because we went through that 9 months. We did the work. So we cannot easily let one go. For someone who didn't do the work, they can say, oh, discharge that one because I'll bring another one. No, we don't want anyone being discharged because everyone counts towards what we're doing. So yes. I'll pull up
Please continue to help us to like. Those on YouTube, subscribe. It's important that you subscribe so that this information will come to you and you can share. Welcome, Reverend Salami. Thank you for the grassroots work you're doing amongst the ministers. Please continue to like. I'll stop when you're ready. Thank you.
Is this us?
Oh no, this is the old one. This is the catchers.
I don't know why it's still open. Stop sharing.
So please continue to like and subscribe. We are talking about made in Nigeria Igbo leaders. That is the enemy who told you that the colonial monsters came. When they come, they handpick the criminals in our midst, the worst of us, and use them to do whatever they want to do. So when you see them, you say, oh, these are your leaders. Are these not your people? Is in DOT. This is in DOT.
I wanted to share this quickly. I put it up earlier. If people can take a look and see, it said that UK is officially the world's second most miserable country. This thing was written March 10, 2024. I said, voila, are you guys surprised? How is it that your ancestors can go and steal and destroy and maim and everything else, and you think you're going to be happy?
No.
Begin to return what you have stolen.
Yep.
Begin to return it. Maybe you will find some type of happiness. This miserable country that you're becoming is going to turn into something else. Because you guys are not eating okute for breakfast. We've been eating okute. That's what's wrong in our DNA. You're going to start eating rocks for breakfast if you guys don't begin to undo the harm that you guys have done and continue to benefit from it while holding other people hostage.
No peace for the wicked, no rest for the wicked. It's
Absolutely
that
not.
serious. So continue to share, please. So made in Nigeria, Igbo leaders. We're not talking about all the Igbo leaders. That means you have Igbo leaders that are authentic. What my sister read at the beginning of this intro, we talk about the leadership conclave that they had August 2018. Those are the real Igbo leaders. But we're going to tell you about the ones, the so-called leaders created by the monster called Nigeria, one Nigeria monster. If you check in your ancestral land, you will see some of those type of leaders that we're talking about. They are everywhere. So we are bringing out the one in our space for you to understand, because when you see them, you think they are our leaders and you think that they are saying what we are saying. No, it's in DOT.
No, I have it. I don't know why it's pulling up all kinds of stuff. Here it is.
Okay, there it is. So you see, that's why we are bringing this topic here. We're not saying that they're the only ones, but we are telling you because they always use them to announce whatever evil they're doing. If they don't make them minister of information, they will make them one type of somewhere that is talking to the people. And when you say it's this Igbo people, these are the leaders. No, they are made in Nigeria. They are not our leaders. These people handpick them and then use them. I'll allow my sister to go on.
Yes, our viewer here, Oma Jesu Omachi, said the military is repeating their invasion of 1967 in the east down south now as we speak.
Unfortunately, we warned our people and we're still warning. Nigeria will happen to you. If you continue allow 1999 constitution to stand in your space, if you allow the willing tools, the so-called leaders in your space to swear and uphold the 1999 constitution, that is the visa for terror. That is the visa for all sorts of evil in your land. It's one after the other. They finish from southeast, they enter south, they enter southwest, they enter middle belt. They're everywhere. Your land and your resources is what they want. Remember one of them that spoke on national TV said, "What are you doing with your land when your life is attached to it? Give up the land." Remember when this thing was said. So
Right.
understand what is going on.
And they also reminded us that as long as we are in one Nigeria, that everything belongs to them. I mean, their great grandfather was happy when Nigeria was handed over to them. And they came out and told you ain't going nowhere. They will never allow you to rule over yourself. Because the business was concluded in the background, and he came and told you he wasn't afraid. He knew he was working with the slave masters. He knew, it was just him to reconfirm to them that what the business the business discussions that we had behind the scene, I'm letting them know now that I'm willing to make sure that it's enforced. So you can see how the Igbo leaders are holding us hostage. It's not enough that they're holding us on both arms. They also have a big, huge log on our neck. And it's not enough. This is a real picture. This is not AI. It's not enough. They use stone. This is a human being to hold down one of his feet. Isn't that sad? This is the situation that we find ourselves in because we have made in Nigeria Igbo leaders that they're not just holding us hostage, they are looking for our demise. They want to unalive us for their benefits. They don't care. Their children are, housed all over the world. They are not on economic exile. They are on a spending exile to go and spend the stolen properties that they have taken. So today we are going to look at loss of identity. We're also going to look at modern day warrant chiefs, bypassing the willing tools in our central land, and the 5-point agenda which our brother described earlier. And we reminded you guys that these people are not playing. as Nigeria as currently constituted belongs to the Osman Dan Fodio Company. Anybody thinking otherwise, you're on your own. No? That's why when you give review for tomato, they will come and arrest you. That's why when you tell our people that the pastors and the church leaders are stealing from them, instead of using Holy Ghost fire that they've been preaching, they will use police and then go out of town. Nothing is working. It's anything goes. Anything goes. Anyhow they see it, they do it to you, and there is no accountability. Before these criminals came, the colonial monsters, the colonial criminals, the wicked of all wickeds. I don't even know. I have no words for these people. According to their Lord, because it's not my Lord, Macaulay, according to his address to the British Parliament on 22nd of February of 1835, this is how long these criminals have been roaming Africa, stealing and destroying and maiming. Why wouldn't they be the most miserable country in the whole world? Ndori, 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 you've been stealing. You stole for 500 years. You're so dumb, you don't have enough. Just give me 1 year to steal. I will have enough to feed the whole world. 500 years, you claim that you're smart. You're still stealing. This criminal colonial monster said, I have traveled across the length and breadth of Africa, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this in this country. Such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is what? Their spiritual, cultural heritage. And therefore, he proposed that they would replace her old and ancient education system. They will replace their culture. For if Africans think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem. They will use their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. And that's what we have been. That's what we are. That's what it looks like the Warren Chiefs is ensuring that we continue to be dominated by the criminals. Even when they are dead, they are still dominating us through their children. Loss of identity. Who we were before we lost our identity. This is who we are before we lost our identity. We knew who we were. We respect our God. We respect our elders. There's a hierarchy in the family. There's a hierarchy in the society. There's even ways to deal with criminals. We don't honor life for our criminals. We give them matches and isolate them. These people are used to, every day you will read on the news, a 2-year-old got shot. Ndemwa got shot. Even Keta, dog got shot. Everything got shot. Everything. That's what they brought us. So before the willing tools deserted their people and became loyal to the colonial monsters, we were, we were what Macaulay mentioned earlier. Before our spirituality was replaced with foreign demonic religion, such as extreme Islamism and fake Christianity, which promoted poverty and more hatred and division than God, we were what Lord Lugar described. Kind people, loving people, we share. My sister mentioned earlier, please continue to help us to share that if you need light, you don't need to go and suffer to get your own light. All you have to do is to walk to your brothers and sisters next door and get it done. When we found, we leave food for our orphans and our widows so that they will have enough to eat. Before our educational system was replaced with miseducation and misinformation that caused our ancestral land or water, Miri Obaru, which is River Niger, they changed it to River Niger. They call the jawline Bat of Africa, and they call our ancestral space Nigeria.
Bat of Biafra.
Bat of Biafra.
Land.
So they keep destroying everything that we had. They gave it a new name, and this is what we're trying to do. Take back our stolen identity. Take it back. our brother will say, let's redress back and take back everything they have stolen for us. But the so-called made in Nigeria Igbo leaders are the one holding it like this. They hold us on our neck. It's not enough. They put chain on both arms. It's not enough. They use stone and hold one leg down. It's not enough. Even when they are called as of a big place that Igbo people are supposed to come from, they are so far away from their people. You have to make an appointment and see Jesus before you can stop by their office. That's how far gone that they are from us. The modern day warrant chiefs, they're everywhere. They are everywhere. We know who they are. Oh, the all ones. Because for years, it was the same these ones that keep deceiving us. They will go to town, bring rice, bring salt, bring engine oil. You think they're bringing more. The same rice and engine oil. So every day is decreasing self. Every day is decreasing. When you look at the example, the first example that comes to mind is Ndi Ohaneze Ndi Igbo. These people, because nothing is in their brain.
Oh, that's Ndi Igbo.
Nothing. They have done nothing but to enrich themselves. And they speak English very well. They will land. I remember when one of them went to the what is that house in England? Go whatever.
Chatham House.
Chatham House. The brother, my dear. I say, where is my dictionary? Every word I had to look it up. And you're communicating to your brothers and sisters.
Because they want to impress their masters.
Colonial masters that they got it. They got this.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the behind, they don't speak like that too.
They can speak Queen's English. So how is gonna Queens? We are natives. We are Igbo. We can't go speak.
Igbo to start with.
Very Igbotic. We are just managing to use it to communicate. Igbo kaina, so I bundi Igbo.
Wow. Let's look at Igbo NGOs. They are everywhere. They are making money from the pains and sorrows of our people. When they claim, oh yeah, they are bringing something. How long are we going to be waiting for handouts? How long must we wait to eat until Onwa comes into the village? Oh, it's Easter this week. By the grace of God, Onwa will come in so that we can see light.
Everybody has become Almajiri.
I know.
Everybody has become Almajiri. Beggars. They give you bag of rice. Give you bag of what? Beggars on the street. Everyone is now a beggar.
They want to play God. Because when you are way up here, then you can be given like Ojos or Kano, you'll be feeding 400 people. And you tell yourself, you know, you're close to God after you're feeding people 400. That's a lot. The Igbo medias, they are there. They will never, ever research into what is ailing our people. But they speak Queen's English. They speak very well. They will never even bring their brother to say, hey, I don't know. Let me get more information so we can promote this thing. No, because all of them are all in on this pain and suffering of our people. Our religious leaders, they are everywhere. They brought open oka to our land, not peace or God. None of that.
Yeah. You know, when we heard oka, we thought it was a worship of God. We didn't know it's open oka. So that inside family, open oka everywhere. You and your family. Because if it's our ancestors always warn us, it's a place you worship God. Why didn't they call it Uno Chuku or something? They call it Oka. Okunoka. It's trouble. They warned us, so we didn't know. You think that will cause trouble between you and your sisters, you and your brothers in your family? One is Roman Catholic, the other one is Anglican, the other one is Pentecostal. Everybody is fighting in the community. Everybody is fighting. While you're fighting, they are distracting you. Then the enemy is coming to steal your resources.
The worst one is the way they tell our people not to be giving things to the poor people in our midst, because they will use it to hold you hostage. They will use it to take your word from you. They will use it to do this. This is what we used to do to progress our communities, our society. These people came and took it away.
Yes.
Oh, you can't give that woman, bewitched woman on a village now. You really think she will go and sit in Dibia's house and be calling your name every day?
I'm telling you.
5 children to feed.
They will tell them that their mother, an old woman that is suffering, is the one holding your destiny. Old woman like that is holding your destiny, as weak as she is.
And when we
And
say
then you will
they
have the poor in the
what
land.
they do is to distract them, right? Because it's part of, they work with the government. So
Yes,
when
now.
they change whatever all our people's mind and set and turn it into family problems, nobody will look at the government problems, societal problems. So it's all my
Exactly.
family now. So because they're gaining from the government. As long as they keep us dumb, as long as they keep us fighting, as long as they keep us arguing, then the government and them will be benefiting.
Yes. And they will increase the fear. Remember the three tools of colonization: ignorance, fear, and military terror. So you are afraid, you can't even step out to do anything. No, because they will eye you or they will do this to you.
They're everywhere. They use
Everywhere.
Nollywood. Nollywood took money from our enemies to present our people, land, and culture in a worse way. I remember when MB's 2020 played on Sophia, I go chop your money, disappear. And they were blaming us as people that encourage ritual in Africa.
Exactly.
Instead, it was these Igbo movies that encourage. They profile, and you know what they would play it on Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday night to make sure that people see us as the criminals, as the ndị na-egbu mmadụ, as ndị ọgwụ ego.
And after they've made
When they are doing their movies in Hollywood, shooting and doing all these things, it's not them.
no,
When we do nke anyị nwa, ha atọ nọ into, they said it was us that
and we will present it like that. And after all that money they made from selling our people wrongly. Do they have money to treat themselves? No. All of them are sick and begging on the social media.
dying of kidney failure.
Like Itoafo, I told them, you may God help you. God deliver you so that you will change the things that you did. You marketed an Igbo in the worst form. You better start repenting and turning around. Go there and go and seek for our values, our core values, and begin to promote them. Begin to promote them now, because what is coming for you, you don't even might know it. Now you have collected all the money from the enemy to demarket our culture, our identity, who we are. Our children abroad don't want to come home.
Because
And
all
then
you do is turn human beings into money. You
Yes.
kill your mother, you do your wife, you your dog, your neighbor, so you can get money. That's who we are. Money, 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 money.
All the evil. What's the percentage of the people doing the so-called things that you've been acting and spreading everywhere? What percentage? We are a people that love. We love our neighbors. We love our God. We are kind people. We give, we support. That's why when you take somebody's child, a widow's child, you train him and he's become a millionaire. This is who we are. Why didn't you market all those? No.
But they are paid.
Yes.
Paid.
What your enemy tells you to promote.
Right. And they will come and promote them here on evening TV for us. And then they also use the gospel singers. We see them every time they say your hand is greasy in money. Only their hands is greasy in money, because when they post their music for the week, before 7 p.m., they have 98,000 views. And they're telling you God will do it for you. Do not let these gospel singers, God bless their heart, they can sing, but they are also part of the problems that we have, part of it. They are not doing anything to change anything. What they're doing is praising, celebrating their pastors and celebrating their church as if that's what our problems are, which is not. It's way more than that. Way more than that. So be wary of all of them. All of them. I mean, we're not saying that people shouldn't do well, praising God. How are you praising God when you're the only one doing well in the community, you and your cronies? How is that good? None of you will ever speak out against what is being done to our people. As long as you go to London and have your, honeymoon and go back and forth, you go to London and have children and come back. What are our people that can't even leave their vicinity? The traditional leaders, you heard our brother say they collect up to 5% of the local government revenue. So these people will never, ever, ever speak for you, because it's all about them. I told you guys a story about how my dad left us red. Also, those men that wear red cap, he has to stop wearing his, because he saw what they were doing. They were selling out the next generation. Igbo politicians and lawyers, Ojo Sokano and them. Oh, Ojo Sokano, the one that feeds how many people? 400 people?
House.
Hmm?
Hmm.
Hmm.
He's
The old
running charity home.
is able to is running charity home.
His house is charity home.
Can you imagine being under his this thing? Hmm? Who knows what you have to do at night to continue to get that
Of
food?
course, is that not how they do? You didn't see the other pastor that will go and be carrying all the children and say, I want to take care of them. And nobody will ask, this man, what are you doing with 200 children in your house? What game are you playing? Everybody will just be doing, yes. They're philanthropists. They're helping. Everybody has been reduced to almajiri. So they will come and be giving us.
It's sad. People like Olisa Abakabo,
Yes.
one Mr. Lies promoter. And even at their old age, they are not saying, hey, what about if I'm no longer here? How are my children going to survive this?
They don't care. Because
then when you talk, yes, when you talk, they will come out and say, oh, we are Republicans. Yeah, when they're Republicans, we can do, we're entitled to opinion. We do as we wish and we wish as we do.
That's not the meaning, girl, boy.
Wow.
That's not what that means.
Wow. You guys are not even getting it. When we say that we must follow the superior arguments, you think you can do what you want to do and follow and say and all that kind of stuff. And we're telling you it's not about being Republican. Not at all. It's about right and wrong. Doing what is right. And not because it will favor me, but what is good for our common well-being. We've always find it hard to think about community well-being. I will allow my sister to continue.
Yes, my dear. We're giving you examples of the modern day warrant chiefs. We are mentioning their names so that you will understand what we're saying. The people, these are the rejects of the society, made in Nigeria, Igbo leaders and elites. It is the one Nigeria that is suppressing us with their knee on our neck. We can't breathe. They are the ones that produce these so-called Igbo leaders. And you see them everywhere speaking English. And not just that they're speaking English, but it's empty analysis. When they talk, you say, like, what did you just say? So another group are those promoting confab, the so-called confab of 2014, that we know that the delegates that they sent to that confab were based on the rejected 1999 constitution. We are saying that this document is killing us. It's okay, you want to change it. Then you now start picking people that will go and change it from the people that are benefiting from the document. Who is fooling who? The same confab that refused to examine the foundation of the union they seek to build. Pious Anyin people. He was then the Secretary of Government or whatever title they call those things. These are the so-called Igbo leaders. They are not your leaders. They are Nigerian made in Nigeria leaders. Nigeria made them, took them from your land. That's why you see some of them, they are like elephants. They swallow everything inside their mouth. And you're asking this one, is this Oibudiha or Ziza Kozal? Is this elephantiasis or which one is this one? Yes, because you have to be greedy, selfish, wicked, to swallow everything for Ndiobodo and swallow it for you and your children. And then you are walking up and down like Idi Amin. These people refuse to discuss the basis and the terms of the union. There's Nina's proposition. If you explain it to any normal human being, it makes sense immediately. You won't even explain up to 30 minutes. The person will say, I got it. But these ones, these modern day warrant chiefs, these made in Nigeria Igbo leaders, they seem to be daft. They seem to be dumb. They seem like they don't understand anything. Yeah, because they have been compromised. They have been given all the wealth for your hospitals, for your roads, for infrastructure, for everything. They are the ones the enemy gives the money to. That's why you see them billionaires. What are you selling? Nothing. There's one that said that the father was a billionaire and the father collapsed, and they didn't have ambulance to take him to hospital. And your father was billionaire. So what did he do with his billions? In his environment, he didn't think that there should be ambulance in this environment. He didn't think of, oh, let's have hospital, I'm getting old. And he's a billionaire. What are you not doing with the billion? He sat on it because you are living in Nigeria. That's the type of billionaires we produce in Nigeria. We are telling people 1999 constitution is to go down. Let's stop telling these nonsense stories that we like saying so that we whip up sentiment. We are not feeling sorry for you. You are the warrant chiefs. You are products of the warrant chiefs. That's why when we are saying, let's bring this system down, you will refuse. Even when you are a youth, that you should be understanding. You pretend that you don't understand. We are saying these Igbo leaders are the ones that promoted confab of 2019. The same confab that refused to touch the no union claim of their people. Their people said, nobody brought us into this thing. No. We are not part of it. We didn't discuss with anybody. No, they don't want to. Pius Ani said, no, don't go there. Don't touch the foundation. Leave it. Let's just go and do wuru and deceive the people. Your wuru will not work anymore. The genie is out of the box. These same people wanted to write constitution, or they have gone to write. We saw Awakoba, what's the other one that is the one that is eating money from IPOB people? That's one from
yes.
I've forgotten his name. You saw him. He said he's handing over to Meka Anyoko, Meka Anyuku, to a book to him. Say, this is the constitution written by who? The document that you wrote without consulting the people, owners of the land. You didn't even speak to them. You think we are children? Do you think the natives, the indigenous peoples, are children that do not have sense to know what they want? Ozekome, yes. Ozekome, Ozodimba, all their strange names that they answer. These are all criminals. Because you must be a criminal. As a lawyer, you call yourself son, and you did not recognize how constitutions are made. What did you study? This is first class of jurisprudence. What did you see? They were saying, all the wuru. These people do not pass any class. They go and give money to their lecturers and they give them certificates. Then tomorrow they say they're son. If you are educated, we will see that education, the skills in solving problems. That's the meaning of education. Not that you have certificate 20 and you cannot solve one single problem. It becomes when you look at it, you are getting confused. No, you're not educated. You just went to school, but school did not go through you. You collected certificate through wuru. That's why you cannot apply your brain to solve problems. Simple problems that people in the market that they even go to school can understand and solve. It's becoming too much for you, ambiguous to you, because you're not literate. This same confab refused to speak boldly against what is ailing their own people. They went there to go and eat meat pie and aminara, and then hobnob and then met someone. It's networking for them. Yet every day they will call conference. Who do you think you're fooling? The report, we say it now, the report of the 2014 confab is not, we said it's not the decision of the peoples of Nigeria. So it has been rejected. It's dead on arrival. People could do your wuru when nobody was watching. I Muzanya Kazu now. Our eyes, they shine like fish eye. Shine your eyes. We are talking about modern day warrant chiefs, the rejects of the society that have been made to be leading us. Why did Ninas reject confab of 2014? Let's break it down for you. And when we say Ninas, the indigenous peoples, nationalities, alliance for self-determination, they are the true Igbo leaders, those that are promoting Ninas. The Igbos that are promoting Ninas are the true Igbo leaders. Listen to us, other ethnic members. The Igbos that are promoting Nina's proposition that we give rights and freedom and liberation to everyone, they are the true Igbo leaders, because that's our worldview. Our worldview is Egwe Bere Ugo Bere. live and let live. This is who we are. So those are the people you will listen to, that are the ones representing us. The promoters of confab are made in Nigerian Igbo leaders. They are not for us. They are not speaking for the people. So we say, why is it that the true leaders of Ndi Igbo are saying confab will not work for us? 3 reasons. The first one, the terms of reference. Whatever they discussed and agreed upon, they said, will be integrated into the 1999 Constitution. That means it was amendments they were doing. 600, over 600 amendments, like you heard my sister say. A document that you amended over 600 places. Is that one still a document? What have you done? So that is one reason why we said this confab 2014 is not for us. It's not for the people, because they refused to follow the guideline that the people said they should follow. Number 2, representation. The people who came to discuss, to make those discussions, did not come from, they didn't have the constituent powers, because they were selected on the basis of the structure imposed by this disputed constitution. Everything was still based on the constitution that we're saying we did not make. That is a fraud. 36 states that we did not make, it took from there. 777 local governments, geopolitical zones, they are so-called geopolitical zones, special interests, everything is wuru, 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 still refusing to discuss with the real owners of the land, because they are criminals, Alibaba and the 40 thieves. So thereby they were avoiding and pushing aside the real constituent nations, the peoples who are supposed to be federating. These are the real owners of sovereignty. They are doing the same thing that Britain did, 1914. And of course, the people that brought a unitary Nigeria did the same thing, 1967, and especially 1979 and 1999. They are just continuing. Anybody that wants to do something and you have to base it on the 1999 Constitution that we told you is a fraud, you are not ready to do anything yet, and it cannot be accepted. Third, is the first decision the conference made as they gathered was that they will not discuss the question of unity of Nigeria, even when the convener of that conference, President Goodluck, expressly mandated a probe into the foundation of Nigeria. He told them, this is what you need to do. Check the foundation, particularly 1914 and 1960. Find out why is it that the union is not working, even after 100 years. Find out. They refuse to touch it. They're eating meat pie and mineral. So sovereignty is attached to the land. Our people, listen. Those that, if you did not take anything from them, understand that your sovereignty is tied to your land. That's why they're trying to take your land from you, so that you lose the sovereignty, because sovereignty is tied to the land. When we talk about sovereignty, that's lands and people, ancestral land and people living on those ancestral land originally. These are distinct ethnic nations occupying their ancestral lands and spaces. Therefore, owners of sovereignty in geographical space called Nigeria are the Ijo, Ishekiri, Yoruba, Igbo, Igala, Berium, Edo, Idoma, Hausa, all these. Everybody has their own land. That's why we say, if you just go and stand on your own land, you'll be fine. So these modern day warring chiefs, they are all pretending not to hear the concerns of their people, who are asking, how do we live together in peace? How do we have safety in our land? How do we become successful like you? You are so successful. You are on one. You are this. How will my child become successful without having to come and beg from you and take crumbs from you? These people know the truth, but refuse to push the self-determination and liberation project that their people want, because it will not give them money. They are the ones holding hands together with the enemy because they want to make profit for themselves, irrespective of what their people are going through. They do not care. These people, rather, they have taken their children and their wives away from our land. Some are in US, some are in Houston, some are in UK, everywhere. They have left the land. If an Igbo, for instance, is so safe and flourishing while being in Nigeria, why are you not living there with your children and your family? Why are you running away? So that means you are lying to yourselves, you are deceiving the people if you continue to promote one Nigeria that is killing the people. If you continue to promote the 1999 Constitution, it will not work. Let's quickly look at how you bypass the willing tools in your ancestral lands. So you look at this pyramid of evil that we showed you. There's a complete video from Nina's that will break it down for you. You see, the British crown is on top, then followed by caliphate. Then that's why you have the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Then the federal government, see, these things are on top. Federal government is not for you. Then you have the masses down, being suppressed, being destroyed. These people, they're the coven, the principalities, the powers, the demons, and the familiar spirit that your church is telling you about. It is not your neighbor that is doing those things. It's these people that we are telling you. They are your enemies. The willing tools, the political class, the religious leaders, the social influencers, the traditional leaders, made in Nigeria elites are all part of this pyramid of evil, all of them. They are the coven, the principalities, the powers, the demons, the familiar spirit tormenting you. Hence, Nina's has already set objectives that we bypass them. That's why Nina's, we are promoting Nina's and nothing else. That's why we say Nina is the only sensible pathway to where we are going. Some people will hear it because their brain is not functioning well. They will say, oh, what do you mean by that? This is not a beer parlor discussion. We are not here to just do a Omona meeting where everybody is drinking and no. This is serious discussion based on life and death. So we are not even playing. We are not missing words. When we call A is A. When we call B, B is B. So Nina's in the proposition already bypassed them. And these objectives were stated in the Constitutional First Measure of 16th December 2020. If you go there, you're going to see them. The breakdown in bits. The fact of the matter is the nationalities own their sovereignty and space. So they can now peacefully mobilize their people and get into the business of finishing up their charters of relationship, whether Abuja government comes or not. That's the fact of the matter. And that's what I want you to embrace and understand. Another fact is that the defeat and the demise of the 1999 Constitution brings Nigeria to the constitutional logjam that you've been hearing about. That's irresolvable crisis. You can't resolve it except you take out that thing that is causing the crisis. And the imperative of an immediate transitioning for union reconfiguration. That's where we are. The big guys said we are not supposed to matter because they said that we are just a bunch of little guys. But we have bonded together. We formed an alliance to make a difference. And it's called grassroots movement. Everywhere you are in your ancestral land, go to the grassroots, wake them up, put hands to the guy. The little guys matter. Why? Because we are more in number. So we can say no to the big guys and then move to the next thing that we need to do to fix the lives of our people, to fix the land. The national consensus around Nina's points 1, 2, 3 means that automatically everybody is pushed into 4 and 5. That is the last 2 points of Nina's 5-point agenda. So as you mobilize your people from grassroots, please identify, criminalize, and isolate any willing tool in your space You know them. We have told you what they can do and who they are. Most of them have already run to Abuja. Some are already out of your space. So you see, they're making work easy for us. Those that are living at Abuja, those willing to still at Abuja there, don't worry yourself about them. They'll be there maintaining nominal governance for us while we keep withdrawing the resources, the source of their supply, small, as we're doing what we're doing. When they're tired, they will organize themselves and go home. If they refuse to go home, they will dry off like cancer that lacks blood supply. That is what we are saying, that the power belongs to the people. You. Power belongs to you. So continue to follow us, continue to like, continue to understand. And then during the week, we keep talking to people. People call us and we talk to them and break down things for them. So ignorance is not an excuse. And don't stay in the corner and say, how is this? How is it? Study, watch, and then we'll follow you up. Ask us, we'll explain to you. I'll allow my sister to finish up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Please continue to help us to share. As usual, they're doing what they do best. All right, let's look at some take-home points. The owners of the land, which we know as indigenous peoples, possess sovereignty over their territories, enabling grassroots mobilizations for charting our own future, regardless of the central government involvement. So you're not waiting for them to come and help you. You're not waiting for them to give you any information. You have all the information that you need to make the move that is necessary. We also know that the collapse of 1999 Constitution signals a constitutional crisis, demanding an immediate transition, and like we've been preaching all along. Grassroots unity empowers us to challenge the authorities of those who dismiss us as inconsequential, leveraging our numerical strength to effect change. So do not fear. These people doing this thing, they are only 1%. They're not even up to 1%. They're only up to 1%. They already dispersed themselves anyway. They're just there because you guys are still sleeping. Nina's consensus on key points drives us towards a comprehensive reform, laying the groundwork for the new agenda that we're promoting, identifying and isolating collaborators within our midst, the criminals, that's who they are, who have aligned with external powers, is essential for reclaiming control of our destiny. While nominal government may persist in Abuja, when we withdraw our support, they will be compelled to either run away or fade into irrelevance. So through our collective action and perseverance, we can dismantle the structure of oppression and finally pave the way for a more just and equitable future for all. It's a no-brainer, my people. The job has been done. If you look at this wonderful Nina's movement process here, actually, let me use it to cover this. You can see that, you know, we've kept mentioning number 1, number 2, and 3, and 4, 5 today. This is what we are referring to. So where we are now is for people to get on with transition. These people have no choice. They have no choice. They've already agreed that the constitution is a fraud. They've already agreed that it needs to be taken down. Just don't let them give you the process of how they're going to get it together. The process has been done. The only reason why they agreed is that our argument is compelling. So they have no choice. And they know it's a matter of time before people will start unaliving some of them. So the next in line, or the next step, is referendum and plebiscites, and then the new constitutional order. This is the process. They are decommissioning the defunct Federation of Nigeria. So we've done 1, 2. We are here insisting on transition now and not later. Okay, and of course, finally, our announcements. Continue to watch our spotlights on our ancestors. The videos are on YouTube until we are able to come up with new ones. Listen to our sister. She's on she's on Spotify as Smart African. They also on in the Clubhouse. That's where we played that video today. If you want to learn more, join them weekly on in the Clubhouse to learn more. And Twitter Tuesday is our day. Of course, you can tweet at any time of the day of the week. But Tuesday is the day that we, for everyone to get involved. That's one thing you can do with click of a finger. And if you want to learn more, go to ninasvoice.org. There are plenty of information on there for you to learn so that you don't come and ask us, oh, what is the next step? Please, the next step is already there. And then you won't even watch the show. You're asking, what is the next step? That's not how we roll, okay? Listen first in class and then you ask questions. And then the daughtersoftrue.org. And as always, last but not least, we insist on transitioning now and not later. So if you keep playing with Nigeria, they will come down to your side with military invasion. If you continue to play with Nigeria, they will come and arrest you for giving a tomato review, which is true because obviously the tomato, they put so much sugar. And it's not the first time BBC ran a documentary on how they put so much sugar and replace our tomato with more sugar instead of putting tomato in it. So it's nothing new. It's nothing new. They just want to do Nigeria for you or on you. They want to do Nigeria to you. Or
Yeah, bullying.
yeah.
All about bullying.
So Kiyamara that they on a camp, prison camp, an open air prison called Nigeria. Because you guys, when you're doing well, you think you're in a safe place. They want to remind you that you can be picked up at any time.
Yeah.
Right. Until next time, please join our sisters in Clubhouse. They are coming up at 1 p.m. Bye-bye.
Bye.